Hi guys, what's up? Tori here, and I'm here for my 13-week pregnancy update video. I am 13 weeks and 3 days today. Today would be Tuesday, June 9. So just kind of gonna start off by updating on where baby is at growth-wise this week. This week at week 13, baby is now about the size of a jalapeno, or about 3 inches long, so that's really cool. Baby is starting to look much more baby-like. Before, its head was kind of like the dominant, like it was bigger than the rest of its body, and now its little body is like lower body is starting to catch up with the size of its head a little bit. And baby is developing its fingerprints, and its bones and vocal cords are beginning to develop. And it's also starting to get all its little like lanugo hairs that are all over its body on its skin to help hold the vernix on its body, which the vernix protects the baby's skin while it's in utero. And usually those hairs will fall out like before delivery or sometimes even after delivery. And the vernix usually sometimes is on baby when it's born, sometimes is not too as well. So that's everything development wise with baby. And then for me, there really is no like major new pregnancy symptoms or anything like that. All I can really say is I am feeling great, like feeling so good. Finally feeling more normal again. I'm feeling like I have a little more energy. I feel like definitely like not having any nausea anymore. I have not been wearing my bands for about the last week-ish, and I've been not having any issues with nausea. I've actually been feeling like I can eat on my normal routine, how I always eat again, and be just kind of really back on track with how I eat, and I feel so good about that. Like it makes me feel so much better that I'm able to kind of eat more how I was eating before. Like I was having issues with nausea and just pretty much eating whatever I could to keep myself from feeling sick. So like that makes me super happy. So basically that's like pretty much it. And so now I'm just going to talk about that. Last week, Wednesday, is when I saw my OBGYN for the first time in this pregnancy, and that appointment went really well. It definitely was a longer appointment, but that first appointment usually is. I actually was able to hear my baby's heartbeat for the first time, which was so cool, because before I could see the heartbeat, but they never would like play it for me to hear because they said that they couldn't. So, but it was really cool. They just used the little like fetal Doppler, and they were able to hear the heartbeat, and baby's heartbeat on that day was beating at 168 beats per minute. So a little slower than it was when I had my ultrasound, but baby was being super, super active at the ultrasound, where baby probably was a little bit more relaxed at this appointment, so that's probably why there, but that was really cool. And then basically like we just kind of talked and went over everything, and then like the only things like exam wise my OB did is he did a pelvic exam, and he did a pap smear and a breast exam, all that stuff. All those fun uncomfortable things that have to be done, but everything was great and looked great. And he kind of just went over everything that they went over at maternal fetal medicine with me again. And he pretty much just said, like, yeah, this does put you as more of a high-risk pregnancy, but, at this stage, everything's looking great, and we're just going to keep monitoring you really closely. We'll keep doing in-person visits. Because of COVID, they have been, like, giving women the option of doing virtual visits, like, saying that they have, like, no issues going on, and it's, like, totally fine. But because I'm considered more high risk, he's like, we're just going to keep doing in-person visits. I'd much rather see you in person, which I'm okay with, because I would much rather be seen in person as well versus over the computer. So that was fine with me. But he was really great, really nice. And I think I definitely have the right OB for me. He was amazing. And I'm looking forward to continuing to see him. And at this point, I'm going to be seeing him about every 4 weeks. So, and actually the next time I see him is going to be a little bit longer than 4 weeks, just because of the fact that the next time they wanted to see me, I'm actually going to be going on vacation. So it's going to be the week after I get back from vacation. And actually my OB was actually going to be gone too in there. So the week after I get back from vacation is when I'm going to see him again. just, check everything again, make sure everything's still going good and all that. The other thing I do want to bring up is we did decide to do one additional blood test, and it was some blood testing on me because my husband Matt his dad had a brother and sister that both died when they were young, like kids, from cystic fibrosis. And I had completely forgotten about that until I was reading over some information that they had sent me in the mail from my OB office. And they mentioned like testing that, like, some of the genetic testing and stuff can be one of those cystic fibrosis things. And then like it totally hit me, like, oh my gosh, Matt has cystic fibrosis in his family. And I brought it up to Matt, and Matt was like, oh yeah, I was tested a long time ago and I am a carrier of cystic fibrosis. So I was like, that's good to know. So I brought it up with my OB, and I told him, like, I have zero history of cystic fibrosis in my family, like none, absolutely none whatsoever. And so my OB said, well, the only way your baby could potentially have cystic fibrosis or be affected by it is if both you and your husband are a carrier. So he's like, at this stage, what I would just recommend doing is we can test you to make sure that you're not a carrier of it. And then if you are a carrier, we can go from there. But if you're not a carrier, then the chances of your baby having cystic fibrosis are pretty low. So we just decided to go ahead and test me for that. I've not gotten those results back yet, but I should probably be getting them back fairly soon. So yeah, but I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I feel like my chances of being a carrier of cystic fibrosis are pretty low anyway, because I have no history of it in my family. So yeah, and like the only thing that could potentially, like, baby could potentially be a carrier of it itself because Matt's a carrier, but unless we're both carriers, then chances of baby actually having it are really, really, really low. So I'm not really worried about that at all, but we just decided to go ahead and do that just to play it safe, rule it out, make sure things are all good to go. So that was one additional thing that we did do at that appointment, but otherwise, yeah, everything was really great at that appointment. Just pretty much reiterated everything we've already gone over. As far as like, and like I asked him like about like my diet and stuff, like being a weight loss surgery patient, he's like, pretty much just continue doing what you're doing. And like he looked at my weight gain, like from my pre-pregnancy weight to now, and he's like, so far, like for our first trimester, it looks like I had gained 9 pounds. And he was like, that's like 2 more pounds than I would like to see in the first trimester, but it's not anything I'm overly concerned about because weight gain can look different for every woman during pregnancy. He's like, as long as you gain within like the 25 to 30-ish pound range while you're pregnant, it's okay. Like, we'll obviously keep close watch on your weight gain and stuff, but he's like, at this point, I'm not concerned. But then because like I've finally been able to eat more normally, like how I've been able to eat again. I actually stood on the scale a couple of days after that appointment, and I had lost 2 pounds from my appointment to those couple of days later. And I think it's just because I'm able to get my body back on its more normal, regular eating schedule, and I'm like just kind of dropped those like few like added pounds that I like probably put on, because honestly, when I wasn't feeling that great, most of the stuff that sounded good was pretty like more carb heavy, and it was just like I was just eating whatever sounded good and whatever was keeping me from feeling, not good at all. So the fact that I'm able to eat more normally again, I think is helping a lot, and I think I'll be able to regulate and stabilize my weight gain much better now, especially too, like I have a little more energy, so I'm able to like do my exercising and stuff a little bit more. Like obviously I'm not doing any intense exercises, I'm keeping it all very pregnancy friendly and all that, but yeah, so that was just kind of one other thing that was brought up, and he's like, pretty much just keep eating as you always do. So far our baby growth is looking great and all that, so just eat kind of as how you've always been taught since you had your weight loss surgery and all that, and just keep doing what's best for you and for your body and for baby, and just keep doing what you're doing. Like you don't have to worry too much, because we'll watch baby's growth, and if we feel like you need to we'll watch all your blood levels and stuff too by doing regular blood work, and if we feel like we need to have you add more or something, we'll do vitamin supplements, or we'll just tell you like try and get a little bit more of this in your diet or whatever. So he's like, it'll just be monitoring. He's like, at this point, just keep doing what you're doing, because right now what you're doing seems to be good for baby and you. So I was really happy with that. Like I said, I think I'm at a point now where I'll be able to keep my weight gain much more steady and regular and not so like slightly, I mean, it was probably slightly out of control. It was 2 more pounds than what he'd like to see. But yeah, so and then the last thing I want to bring up with you guys is clearly this crib is sitting much closer to me. That is because I am starting to get the nursery ready to actually paint it. I have some tape like up on the ceilings already. I have to finish putting tape on the ceilings. And I actually have to fix some of the tape now that I'm looking at it, because I see some like pieces of the tape like falling off the ceiling, so I have to like press it on there better, I'm guessing. So I am going to probably finish up that at some point and then get started painting in here at some point soon. Probably not today because it's supposed to be pretty hot and humid out today, so it'll probably maybe be a task for tomorrow. It's supposed to be kind of rainy and stormy tomorrow, I think, so I'll probably maybe do that more so tomorrow. But yes, so I am starting to do some of that in the nursery. And July 13 is when Matt and I have my anatomy scan, and that's when we will find out the gender of our baby. So I don't know, guys, start putting in like your gender predictions. Like, what do you think baby's gonna be, boy or girl? I will admit that lately I've been starting to feel a little bit more like baby might be a girl. I don't know why. Like, I don't really have any idea why I'm starting to feel like it might be a girl, but I've lately been kind of feeling like baby might be a girl. But that, I mean, obviously I could be totally wrong on that. And like I haven't done like any of like the gender predictor things, and I don't know, a lot of like the symptom based stuff that they like tell you to go off of, like I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really apply to me because like I haven't had a lot of the symptoms that they would say lean more towards girl or lean more towards boy. So you know, I feel like my symptoms have been kind of even keel, so that one's kind of hard for me. But I looked at the Chinese gender predictor, and the Chinese gender predictor said that I'm having a boy. And then I did the Mayan gender predictor, and that said I'm having a girl. So that didn't really change things much. But I haven't done like any of the other wacky, like, you know, pregnancy or gender predictor, like old wives' tale things. I could potentially do some of those just for the heck of it, for fun, and just be like, you know, hey, does this say I'm having a girl, this say I'm having a boy? So who knows? But I mean, if you guys have any of your predictions, definitely leave them below, and it would definitely be interesting to see, you know, how many more people end up being right. My family so far, I have some of my family that are like saying like, I'm banking on you having a girl, because lately we've had a lot more boys in the family. So I have a couple family members that are just like, you need to have a girl. It's time for a girl. So this one's going to be a girl. And I've had a couple of family members that are just like, oh, it's definitely going to be a boy. So it's kind of evenly split. Like I haven't had a whole lot of people be like, it's like, I haven't had it strong one way or the other way. So I guess we'll just find out there. But I'm going to wrap it up there by now. We'll do the bump shot so you guys can see the belly update and see what that's looking like. So I'm wearing a pretty, hold on, I'm gonna back it up just a little bit more. So I'm wearing a pretty flowy shirt today. So here's the shirt up to the side and the side. So now I'll go ahead and pull my shirt up, and I'll do this so you can see more, but here is facing front. So baby, my bump shot to the front, bump shot to the side. I definitely feel like I'm starting to get a tiny bit more rounded. I don't know, you guys can determine that for yourselves and decide that for yourselves if you think I'm getting more rounded and starting to get more of a bump. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more of a bump, and I feel like it definitely looks more prominent in the evenings than it does earlier in the day. But definitely down here always looks more like protruded, where up here not as much. Like I still definitely kind of am in the phase of I just look more bloated than anything. But yeah, so yeah, there is the bump at this stage. So that is everything for this video, guys, and I will see you next week for my 14-week update. Love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye.